with late game execution.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, the NBA world is in an uproar right now. A big time uproar. Mainly because, well, former Sacramento Kings coach Mike Brown was released in the past 24 hours. And many are not happy because of that. Sorry, many are not happy because of that. Trying not to cough. Had to clear my throat. You guys saw my community tab. Long-time subscribers. You probably saw the community tab when I announced it 12 hours ago now. I don't remember. And I announced it comparing it to Billy Donovan, Chicago Cubs, I was about to say Chicago Bears, Chicago Bulls head coach. He's staying around. Billy Donovan, I think, has only been to the playoffs one time, and I think that was the 21-22 season when they was a starter. I think for most of that season, they was either flirting with the first seed, second seed, third seed, and then by the end of the season, they dropped down to the sixth seed. They played my Milwaukee Bucks and get a gentleman's sweep, and they haven't been close to the playoffs since. I think they've been in the play-in, but they lose like in the first play-in game. They don't make it to the next play-in game. So he's still around. I think the last time I checked, the Chicago Bulls are 13-18 for the season, and at times this season they look terrible. Now the Sacramento Kings haven't been looking too promising either, with the trade of DeMar DeRozan going there this past offseason. Everybody thought maybe this team might be able to do something with DeMar DeRozan, because just not too long ago, 2 seasons ago now, I do recall the Sacramento Kings getting into the playoffs with Mike Brown and forcing the Golden State Warriors in 7 games. A series the Kings would end up losing. I think even the Kings led in this series a couple of times. I think the Kings were like a 3rd seed. They was just a 3rd seed 2 seasons ago. Now, last season, they lost in the play-in to, was it the New Orleans Pelicans or something like that? Yeah, it was the Pelicans. Pelicans became the 8th seed last season. So, skip now. The Sacramento Kings haven't been doing good. They haven't been living up to the hype. But a lot of teams haven't been living up to the hype, including my own team, which they changed their fortunes around this season so far. But like I said, there's some disgruntledness in the NBA among NBA coaches, that being Mike Malone of the Denver Nuggets. And Mike Malone probably has a bone to pick with the Sacramento Kings, because he was once the coach. But anyway, let's go on. Like, share, subscribe, people. Nuggets head coach Mike Malone, whose first head coaching job was in Sacramento, ripped the Kings for firing Mike Brown on Friday, revealed that Brown was informed of the decision via phone call after leaving team practice. See, that right there. No, let me let Mike Malone say what he's going to say. This is what Mike Malone had to say. What really pissed me off about it was that they lost last night, 5th game in a row. I believe tough loss following a jump shooter. They had practice this morning. He does his post-game practice media, and he's in his car going to the airport to fly to LA, because I think they play the Lakers Saturday, today, Malone said. And they call him on the phone. No class. No guts. That's what I had to say about it. And like I said, Mike Malone's a little bit ticked off due to past history, because Mike Malone, age 53, was fired by the Kings almost 10 years ago to the date December 15, 2014. He was 24 games into his second season at the helm with an 11-13 record. Sacramento has now cycled through 6 head coaches since Mike Malone, including interns. Brown was the most successful among them, winning NBA Coach of the Year in the 22-23 season after helping the Kings break an NBA record 16-year playoff drought. So he's Coach of the Year 2 seasons ago, got them to a 3rd seed. They ended a 16-year-old playoff drought. Not only ended an NBA record drought, I think it was also a sports drought of not going to the playoffs or to a postseason. Out of all 4 major sports leagues, I think they had the highest or second highest or something like that. And they get rid of him. Brown has signed a 3-year extension to 27 in June. The Kings have been owned by software tycoon Vicky. I don't never pronounce his name. But yeah. Mike Malone also goes on to say, awful. Yeah, awful, Malone said. And the reason I say that is we're going into this meeting this afternoon. And the good thing about me is that I'm not on social media. I'm not aware of what's going on outside these walls sometimes. I had an office with no windows for 10 years. It's probably taking 6 years off my life. And I go into the meeting and the coach will say, did you hear about Mike Brown? And I say, what happened? And then he said he got fired. They say he got fired. And at first I was really shocked and surprised. And I caught myself and said, why am I not surprised by this? For 2 reasons. One, because as an NBA head coach, ultimately, you're going to get blamed. When they win, it's going to go to Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox. When you lose, it's going to go to Mike Brown. That's the way it works. And 2, who he works for. So I'm not surprised that Mike Brown got fired because I got fired by the same person. And as we all know, Mike Malone has changed the fortunes, helped change the fortunes under Denver Nuggets, leading into their first NBA championship 2 seasons ago. Same season when Mike Brown won Coach of the Year. So I understand Mike Malone's frustration. And it's a messed up situation now that you hear all the details. What are the Sacramento Kings so far this year? Let me look at some stats. And I'll be right back. We got to pay some bills around here. Watch this funny whatever.
How would you evaluate your season?
I think we ain't done yet.
You personally,
I think we ain't done yet.
Marcus.
So I'm back. So get this, y'all. Sacramento Kings this season, 24-25 season under Mike Brown. They're 13-18 next game against the LA Lakers in LA. Points per game, 114.7. 11 in the league. Not bad. Opponents' points per game, 113.6. 17 out of 30. It can be better. Offensive rating, 9th, 114.8. So they have a top 10 offensive rating. And top 20 defensive rating at 15 on 113.7. And you're only 13-18. 12 so far. Season's not even over. Yes, they lost to Detroit. They may be a better team than Detroit. Fine. But to get rid of him in the middle of the season like this, when you haven't even got past December yet? And has he been the first coach this year to be fired? Yeah, I think he is the first coach to be this season to be fired. So this is ridiculous. No smoke for Nick Nurse. I don't give a damn about injuries. Nope. Previous season. Let's look at the previous season right quick before I end this. Previous season, under Mike Brown, they finished 46-36, 9th in the Western Conference. 46-36 is 10 games above 500, which is not a bad record at all. But when you're in the West, yeah, we know. 116.6, ninth overall last season. Basically the same numbers. Basically, they have the same exact numbers from last season. Now, his Coach of the Year season, 22-23 season when he went to the playoffs, they finished third overall in the West, 48-34. They was first in offensive rating. They could score 119.4. They was first in points per game, 120.7. Now, defensively, I do remember they kind of struggled defensively. But it looked like they got better defensively over the last two seasons now. Defensively, it was 25th. Opponents' points per game, it was 25th. I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. I don't know, man. Some people are not held to the same standard as others. And Mike Malone does have a point. We all know the Sacramento Kings, and I know there's probably some Kings fans that probably subscribe to me, but you guys should know that your franchise has been a poverty franchise for I don't know how long now. And this is what they do. They had Mike Malone won a ring. George Karl, probably one of the greatest coaches of all time. They had him. Couldn't get along with DeMarcus Cousins. He had Mike Brown, 2-time Coach of the Year. Who else have they had? I'm not going to go down the deep line, but I'm just saying. It's ridiculous now. And the Kings are always going to be what they are. The Sacramento Queens. Not Kings, Queens.